Tonight on ABC News Live Prime, tensions soar. President Trump today asked about his FCC chairman Brendan Carr and the pressure he applied involving the suspension of late-night host Jimmy Kimmel. Texas Republican Senator Ted Cruz comparing the FCC chair to a mob boss. Our John Carl and Elizabeth Schulze have the story. The CDC panel issues its guidance on vaccinations. That controversial panel, handpicked by RFK Jr., debating changes to the COVID-19 vaccination in a chaotic meeting today.
I'm Steve Osunsami here at the CDC in Atlanta with the decisions that came out of that meeting and what was said behind closed doors.
Just in time for the weekend, a major radar and communications outage causing chaos at two of America's busiest airports.
We've lost all radar and phone communications.
Both airports ordering ground stops. More than 1,000 flights canceled or delayed. And we can't believe it either. Less than 100 days to Christmas and the shopping season officially longer than ever. We'll tell you what retailers are doing in order to avoid those rising tariffs and tell you what shoppers can do to save the most money.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is Prime with Linsey Davis.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Mike Ajachi in for Linsey Davis. Thanks so much for streaming with us. We're going to begin tonight with President Trump and the Trump administration facing growing backlash for suggesting the FCC revoke the licenses of broadcasters airing programs critical of the president. Some top Republicans have now joined Democrats blasting the FCC chairman for targeting ABC and late-night host Jimmy Kimmel. Senator Ted Cruz, the chair of the Senate committee in charge of oversight of the FCC, called FCC Chair Brendan Carr's threats to ABC dangerous as hell. And last night, Jimmy Kimmel's fellow late-night show hosts Stephen Colbert and Jon Stewart weighed in on all. But more on that in just a moment. First, just a short time ago, the president defending the FCC chair. Here's ABC's chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl.
Tonight, the Trump administration is under fire from Democrats and some Republicans, too, over their efforts to clamp down on free speech. One top Republican senator comparing the federal communications chairman, Brendan Carr, to a mafia boss. Carr sparked a backlash after pressuring ABC stations to preempt Jimmy Kimmel Live after comments Kimmel made about the alleged killer of Charlie Kirk.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead.
Disney ABC then announced Kimmel's show was suspended indefinitely. Tonight, Republican Senator Ted Cruz comparing the FCC chairman's threat to a scene out of Goodfellas.
He says, we can do this the easy way, or we can do this the hard way.
Yeah.
And I got to say, that's right out of Goodfellas. That's right out of a mafioso coming into a bar going, nice bar you have here. It'd be a shame if something happened to it.
Cruz called what the FCC chairman did dangerous.
I think it is unbelievably dangerous for government to put itself in the position of saying, we're going to decide what speech we like and what we don't, and we're going to threaten to take you off air if we don't like what you're saying.
Tonight, I asked the president about that. Ted Cruz compared Brendan Carr to a mob boss, the way he's threatening television stations and saying it's absolutely dangerous for the government to determine which speech is okay and which is not. What's your reaction to Ted Cruz?
I think Brendan Carr is an incredible American patriot with courage.
And John Karl joins us now from the White House. So, John, the president clearly disagrees with what Senator Cruz had to say.
No question about that, Ike. He obviously, you heard him praise Brendan Carr, far from calling him a mob boss. And he told me directly, I don't agree with Ted Cruz. He also has suggested recently, just last night when he was coming back from London, he suggested that Chairman Carr could actually go further, suggesting that Carr could potentially take away the broadcasting licenses from television stations who President Trump says have repeatedly criticized him. Ike?
All right, John Karl, thank you. Now, following the indefinite suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live, his fellow late-night hosts weighed in with their thoughts, and they weren't the only ones. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has more.
Tonight, with Jimmy Kimmel Live still off the air, an outpouring of support and anger from fellow late-night hosts.
And he's a decent, funny, and loving guy, and I hope he comes back.
To Jimmy, just let me say, I stand with you and your staff 100%.
Stephen Colbert denouncing ABC for indefinitely suspending Kimmel's show.
That is blatant censorship.
ABC suspended Jimmy Kimmel Live indefinitely late Wednesday after Federal Communications Commission Chairman Brendan Carr criticized Kimmel's comments during his opening monologue Monday about the alleged killer of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it.
This was not the first time Kimmel addressed Kirk's murder, posting on Instagram just hours after Kirk was shot. Can we just for one day agree that it is horrible and monstrous to shoot another human? On behalf of my family, we send love to the Kirks and to all the children, parents, and innocents who fall victim to senseless gun violence. 2 months ago, CBS announced Colbert's show will end in May, the network calling it a purely financial decision. But Colbert, like Jimmy Kimmel, was a vocal critic of President Trump.
It's the all-new government-approved Daily Show.
Overnight, Jon Stewart returning to host Comedy Central's The Daily Show on his night off.
We have another fun, hilarious, administration-compliant show.
Criticizing the Trump administration for pursuing an agenda he says stifles free speech.
They've just redefined what speech means. What free speech means is free speech is speech that supports the president.
On a conservative podcast Wednesday, the FCC chairman, who was appointed by President Trump, blasted Kimmel for his Monday monologue, accusing the comedian of misrepresenting the ideology of Kirk's killer and suggesting the government could take action against local broadcasters that air Kimmel's show.
We can do this the easy way or the hard way. These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead.
Hours after those comments, Nexstar and Sinclair, two of the biggest owners of network TV affiliates, said they would not air Kimmel's show. Nexstar needs Carr's approval at the FCC to complete a $6.2 billion merger with another media company. Carr now suggesting the FCC could intensify its actions against TV broadcasters.
I don't think this is the last shoe to drop. This is a massive shift that's taking place in the media ecosystem, and I think the consequences are going to continue to flow.
Speaking on the Senate floor today, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer called on Carr to resign.
When Carr goes on a podcast and says the FCC can do this the easy way or the hard way to make sure Kimmel is silenced, that is an attack on every single media outlet, whether it's traditional or digital. That is an attack on every single American.
And former President Barack Obama slamming the current administration, writing online, after years of complaining about cancel culture, the current administration has taken it to a new and dangerous level by routinely threatening regulatory action against media companies unless they muzzle or fire reporters and commentators it doesn't like.
There's still no word tonight from our parent company, Disney ABC, about Jimmy Kimmel being off the air indefinitely and if and when he'll return. Ike?
All right, our thanks to Elizabeth. Now to the news developing at this hour. Police late today say a gunman opened fire on KXTV, an affiliate, ABC affiliate, in Sacramento, California. Chief National Correspondent Matt Gutman has the breaking developments.
Tonight, shots fired at KXTV ABC 10, the ABC affiliate in Sacramento, California. This video, taken outside the station, shows what appeared to be 3 bullet holes in a window. Police racing to the scene at about 1:30 local this afternoon. Radio traffic warning law enforcement to be on alert.
Attention all divisions and outside agencies. Broadcast for officer safety on an armed vehicle. Fired 3 times into a building at Broadway and 5th Street 25 ago.
Police say a vehicle pulled up by the station building. An occupant opened fire, striking the lobby window. The vehicle then took off. Reports say at least one person was in the lobby. Station staff were in the building at the time.
It should never be accepted that somebody's going to drive by any type of business, let alone a media partner, and shoot at the building.
Police say they're working to obtain a vehicle description and determine a motive, saying, fortunately, that nobody was hurt.
To those that may have been responsible for this, and I hope you see this, we're not going to stop looking for you. This is unacceptable behavior. It's not going to be tolerated in Sacramento.
Matt joins us now. And Matt, what is KXTV's parent company saying tonight about the shooting?
Ike, the parent company's name is Teg. Now, obviously, they were extremely concerned, and they sent us a statement a short time ago saying, we are fully cooperating with law enforcement and have taken additional measures to ensure the continued safety of our employees. Ike.
Matt Gutman, thank you. President Trump lauded U.S. forces for a lethal strike on a vessel he said was trafficking illegal narcotics in international waters. The president wrote on Truth Social that the vessel was transiting drugs, quote, on a known narco-trafficking passage en route to poison Americans. The president posted this accompanying video on the platform that appears to show the strike. According to the president, 3 on board were killed and no U.S. forces were harmed. Next tonight, major news when it comes to getting the COVID vaccine this fall. The vote just today, and there's been a major change. The panel now suggesting the CDC will no longer make a recommendation for Americans when it comes to the COVID shot and whether to get it or not. It comes amid confusion with a series of changes when it comes to the vaccine recommendations. Senior national correspondent Steve Osunsami is at the CDC in Atlanta.
For the first time since the coronavirus brought this country to a standstill and killed more than 1 million people, U.S. health officials tonight are encouraging all Americans to decide for themselves whether they need a COVID shot or not. The old recommendations are no longer.
We have a vote, 12 yes, so it is passed.
The decision came late today in Atlanta from the CDC advisory panel while protesters lined the street outside.
What we're seeing here is when you convert from gold standard science to conspiracy-based decision-making, that's bad for the people of America.
The new panel was handpicked by current Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy and has been accused of choosing vaccine skepticism over science. In a move that will bring some relief to many of their critics, they also voted down a recommendation that would have started requiring prescriptions for COVID vaccines. Dr. Jason Goldman didn't get a vote, was in the room, and wasn't pleased.
There's a big difference between saying we recommend versus get it if you want. So these vaccines are safe and effective, and they should be recommended strongly, especially for those most vulnerable patients.
The new changes to COVID and childhood vaccine guidelines are coming just as Americans are starting to get vaccinated before the winter. This mother of 2 school-aged children in Miami says it's hard to trust what's coming out of the CDC when there's so much noise everywhere else.
I'm as confused as ever. I don't know what to believe.
Now that there are no formal recommendations for who should be getting the COVID vaccine, there are concerns about the vaccine's availability. The federal government is saying that their programs will still pay for the COVID vaccine and that private insurers will still cover it for at least another year. Ike?
For more now, we're joined by the director of the Dallas Health Department, Dr. Phil Huang. Thank you so much for your time. I got to ask you, Doctor, how significant is that panel vote and what does that mean for public health?
Well, I'll tell you, at the ground level, I mean, it just really undermines all of our efforts to try to get people vaccinated with this very effective and safe vaccine that has been shown to really, help our communities protect us from COVID-19. And so this is very discouraging, definitely.
Now, Dr. Huang, if a parent were to walk into a hospital in Dallas right now, how would it work to get their kid a vaccine under these new guidelines?
Well, one thing, right now, we don't even have it available, and we haven't been able to order it yet. And we're just starting to get some private stock, and we're waiting for the vaccine for children supplies. And then now, again, there's so much confusion, and we've been hearing from people on the streets that some have gone to pharmacies that might have it now, or their healthcare providers, and been told, no, you need, you don't qualify for this. And again, there's just so much confusion that people who want to get the vaccine are not able to get it now.
Now, before the vote, the American Academy of Pediatrics told parents not to trust any recommendation coming out of the committee. Do you agree with that?
Again, I think I do agree that it seems to not be based on science. The changes that are being made are more political, and that's what's been discouraging about so much of this. Is it's been so politicized and not really based on science. And you've seen, what's happened with firing the members of the ACIP and appointing them with sort of political appointees.
Okay, Dr. Huang, then let me ask you this: why did the committee delay the vote on hepatitis B?
I'm glad that they did. We were very concerned about the impact that would have on hepatitis. I don't know. I know that there was The senator from Louisiana is a hepatologist, I think, and knows the effectiveness and importance of that. Perhaps that's part of why it was delayed. I don't know.
And what are you most concerned about in the wake of these meetings this week?
Well, this just continues to create more confusion, more chaos for us at the ground level, and undermines all of our efforts to try to get people vaccinated. And I'll tell you, in our own community, we're monitoring wastewater surveillance. Nationally, I think they're at high levels for COVID, and some of our wastewater sites are also showing high levels. So COVID is out in the community, and right now it's very difficult for people to get the vaccine that they want.
All right, Dr. Phil Huang, thank you very much. We move on now to dangerous storms from California to New Mexico. Heavy rain triggered massive flooding in Ruidoso, New Mexico, and a 2-year-old child was found dead in Barstow, California, after a car was swept away with the child and his father inside. The father was rescued. In Southern California, mudslides are damaging homes, closing roads, and taking down power lines. ABC's Melissa Adan is in California.
This was the moment floodwaters swept away a 2-year-old and his father. Late today, officials announcing they found the boy's body. The toddler was in this white sedan with his father, Brandon. His father was rescued. Up to 2 inches an hour falling in spots in Oak Glen. Denise Romo could only watch from her home as a mudslide surged past her.
Oh my God. I opened my kitchen window, and when I opened my kitchen window, I just see the first wave of mud. And it already had trees and mailboxes, a bunch of debris.
North of there in Forest Falls, mud almost as high as the front loaders, furiously scooping it up. Some residents climbing over boulders and logs to get home. Entire neighborhoods buried in mud. KABC's Scott Reif over the scene at daybreak.
A wall of mud came flowing down, and you could see as many as 8 homes were damaged. Some may have been destroyed. They may not be repairable.
Homeowner Eileen Hay telling me it's happened before.
It was pretty scary because I know we've had some bad floods and people have died.
The monsoon rain supercharged by remnants of Tropical Storm Mario, and it wasn't just Southern California. Floodwaters tearing through the town of Ruidoso, New Mexico. Recent wildfires have stripped the landscape of vegetation, leaving nothing to stop the torrents of water.
All right, Melissa Don, thank you for that. A U.S. attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia resigned his post late today after Trump officials had pressured him to bring a criminal case against New York Attorney General Letitia James. Interim U.S. Attorney Eric Siebert, who was handpicked for the job by the president, did not find incriminating evidence of mortgage fraud against the New York Attorney General. And today, in an Oval Office exchange, Trump told ABC's John Carl, "I want him out." Siebert resigned later in a letter to staff, thanking them for, quote, "the pursuit of justice you strive for every day." Alarming moments in the air for passengers today when air traffic controllers lost the ability to communicate with each other. The major radar and communications outage caused chaos at 2 of the nation's busiest airports. ABC's Whit Johnson has the details.
Tonight, chaos at 2 of the nation's busiest airports after a major radar and communications outage. More than 1,000 flights canceled or delayed.
We've lost all radar and phone communication.
Air traffic controllers at Dallas Love Field and Dallas Fort Worth International losing the ability to communicate with each other, causing ground stops.
I'm not departing anybody until we can get a system set up. We have no comments with the approach right now.
Listen, as a Southwest pilot in the air and still able to reach the tower, passed along a message between air traffic controllers who could not communicate.
An approach wanted to pass on to you to stop all departures. They can't get a hold of you. They're having some comm issues, I guess.
Yeah, I think the entire mesh functions went down, but thank you. We get a hold of somebody.
Tonight, the FAA saying it was not their equipment that caused the outage, instead blaming a local telephone company equipment issue.
They're doing construction here at the airport. This happened a couple days ago where somebody cut a line and we lost everything.
And Ike, the issues are expected to last through the evening. The FAA says it's investigating and working with that local telephone company to determine the cause. Ike?
All right, our thanks to Whit. A federal jury in California ruled that American Airlines must pay $9.6 million to a passenger who suffered a stroke on an American flight in 2021. According to the lawsuit, the passenger showed signs of a stroke while the plane was still at the gate. The passenger's wife alerted American employees who allegedly dismissed her concerns and proceeded to take off from Miami to Madrid. The passenger then suffered a severe stroke while flying over the Atlantic, was hospitalized in Spain for 3 weeks, and can no longer speak or walk. In a statement, American disagreed with the verdict and said the safety of passengers is the highest priority. Overseas tonight, tensions are escalating among NATO's eastern allies bordering Russia. 3 Russian fighter jets are accused of violating Estonia's airspace, flying for about 12 minutes over NATO territory. NATO scrambled jets to intercept. Earlier this month, more than 20 Russian drones flew into Polish airspace. Several were shot down, and NATO is accusing Russia of reckless behavior. And there was a very close call for a boy getting on a school bus when a car almost hit him in Massachusetts. You can see the boy crossing the street to the bus when a car races by, coming dangerously close to the boy. The stop sign was on the bus, fully extended, and police in Hadley, Massachusetts are trying to track down the driver tonight, reminding everyone to follow the signs on those buses. And the singer known as David canceled his tour performances amid the intensifying investigation into the death of a 15-year-old girl. The singer's team scrapped the remaining shows scheduled in California, and his recording company has paused all promotions. Several shows in Europe also appear to be canceled. This all comes just days after the body of Celeste Rivas was found in the trunk of a Tesla that police say was registered to the singer. Coming up, a new warning from the FAA, the item they're telling passengers to leave on during plane emergencies, and a very unexpected moment for a pregnant woman and her husband. What happened as soon as they pulled up to a hospital. Plus, now that summer is coming to an end, it's already time to start thinking about the holidays, why the shopping season is longer than ever. You hear that? You know what sleigh bells mean. We're talking holiday shopping, and for those still drinking pumpkin spice lattes, let's unwrap why the holiday shopping season is longer than ever by the numbers. While it's still 97 days until Christmas, the holiday shopping season is no longer just between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Many retailers ordered their holiday merchandise early in an effort to avoid rising tariffs and will stock shelves with holiday products 3 months before the holiday. Consumers are worried about tariffs too, 41% saying they think gifts will be more expensive this year, and that's according to a Bankrate survey. Many shoppers are getting an early jump on their holiday list as a result. 49% of consumers have already started or plan to shop before Halloween. That's also according to Bankrate. And consumers plan to spend 5% less on holiday gifts, travel, and entertainment than last year, according to consulting firm PwC. And in this lengthening shopping season, Amazon has already announced its Prime Big Deal Days will be on October 7th and 8th, and Prime members will have access to more than 300 million items at some of the best prices. And you may have noticed that Halloween merch was already on shelves earlier as well. Some retailers displayed Halloween products back in June, garnering the nickname Summerween. All right, pre-lit Christmas trees and wrapping paper are already on the shelves in some stores. So let's look ahead for holiday shoppers with Heatha Herzog, Chief Research Officer at H Squared Research. It's always a pleasure to talk to you again, Heatha. Thanks for coming along.
Thanks for having me.
It's always fun. All right, so for consumers who are concerned about rising costs and tariffs, what is the best strategy for shopping?
I'm telling everyone to shop now. It is time to shop now because you don't know what is going to happen down the road. And also because of rising tariffs and a potential of those gifts that you may want to give to people may not even be in shelves because you don't know what's going to happen with shipments. You need to just go out and purchase now. And as we just saw with Amazon, they're running the deals in October. These promotions are happening earlier and earlier. So it's not just Amazon that's doing this. Walmart's going to start doing this. Target's going to start doing this. So the promotions are going to get earlier and earlier.
Now, these retail sales that we're always talking about, what are they looking like right now?
Oh my goodness. They had a gangbusters month last month. So they were up 5%. This is year over year. We haven't seen a month like this in a very long time. And part of the reason why is because I think the consumer is, like I said, really concerned with what's going to happen down the line. They want to get those gifts in. They want to purchase before things go back up again. I think I told you this story, but I was shopping online, tried to get a pair of shoes in Canada. One day it was $150. The next day they were up to $400. Did not get those shoes.
Yeah.
But that's how quickly these prices are changing. The dynamic pricing is certainly involved. So I think you're seeing that customer get to the stores quickly to buy those that merchandise.
Now, I'm sure consumers are confused, right? You just said it yourself. $150 one day, $400 the next, okay? So what products should consumers buy now and what should they buy later?
Well, anything that's coming in from abroad, right? So if you have your eyes set on something, a makeup brand that's overseas or something that's being manufactured in Vietnam or China, you want to get those in. Like toys, for example. You want to get those, you want to purchase them now. Or anything that is coming in internationally. Electronics, you want to purchase now, but not televisions, because televisions go on massive discount after January.
Yeah.
Okay, so toys, electronics, the things you want to wait for are the holiday seasonal clothing apparel. So when you get closer to December, that will start going on discount. So don't quite buy that yet. I know you want those Christmas sweaters, but you may want to wait until after Thanksgiving to get that, because that'll be on discount during Black Friday and beyond.
All right. So the consumer sentiment, okay, we're always talking about how they feel when they get into the store. How is that as we get closer to the holidays?
Well, we're certainly seeing Gen Z feeling a little bit trepidatious as they're going into stores. And you're also seeing about 25% of shoppers spending about $1,000 or so in those stores. That's a lot. That's up from about 18% from 2024. So $1,000, it's certainly more than what I saw in the last 10 years. And people certainly want to spend, but they're spending their money in a very careful manner. Afterpay was in a report said that a lot of the younger demographics, millennials and Gen Z, are very apprehensive to go and believe these discounts that are happening during Black Friday. So I think that's why we're seeing a lot of that shopping happening now. We're seeing this sort of disbelief that you're going to get the best deal on Black Friday, but they're taking advantage of other promotions that are happening now.
Yeah, and that hesitancy, you can see that so much. I want to read 63% of consumers who are losing interest in Black Friday say it's because of misleading discounts.
Exactly.
So how important really are these big sales?
For now, given where we are in the time and place and space, it is really important because consumers feel better when they feel like they are getting the discounts earlier. And as we've seen in the last couple of years, we've seen those discounts happen. Look, Amazon Prime big deals are happening in October, right? So we are giving the consumer an opportunity to shop earlier. So I think that is why you see this disbelief. But it actually ends up better. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really a last minute shopper these days. I just have too much going on during the holidays, being on air. But I think this is really something that younger generations as well as older generations are taking advantage of.
Okay, Heath Herzog with all the information we need. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Always. Coming up, we know some people are introverts and others are extroverts, but there's a third personality type that falls somewhere in between. Are you an outrovert? And a Texas orthodontist this summer was on trial for murdering his wife by poisoning her protein shakes. Our Matt Gutman talks to one woman, a former lover, who testified against him. Welcome back. We turn now to exclusive new details on the Colorado dentist sentenced to life in prison this summer for killing his wife with poisoned protein shakes. Our Matt Gutman has the story.
The business partner and his wife who blew the whistle on Colorado dentist James Craig, convicted of murdering his wife by spiking her protein shakes with poison, breaking their 2-year silence, exclusively to ABC News.
When you met Angela and Jim, what were they like?
They're fun.
Jim was just always smiling and very charismatic.
Ryan and Michelle Redfern describing the moment they learned Craig had mailed poison to their dental practice, a package accidentally intercepted by an employee.
And she said it was potassium cyanide, and my gut dropped.
Is there any medical need in dentistry for potassium cyanide?
Absolutely none.
It's poison.
It was March of 2023, and James Craig's wife, Angela, the vivacious mother of 6, was dying in a Denver area hospital. And no one could understand why, but when the Redferns learned about the poison, they had to make a brutal decision.
You're getting ready to accuse somebody
of killing their wife.
The moment you say something to an official at the hospital,
Pandora's box is opened. Nothing's ever the same.
Hoping you're wrong, but knowing that regardless, life just changed.
Angela was still alive, but now things began to spiral for the dentist who'd been living a double life. Aurora, Colorado police detectives immediately called out, and for the first time, we are seeing what they captured on their body cameras.
It's freezing out here.
Yeah. I'm Detective Olson. This is Detective Graw.
Okay.
I guess we're coming to, talk to you or kind of see if you want to talk to us.
Okay.
Is that something you're interested in?
No.
Okay. And that's fine. So we have a search warrant basically for your cell phone, Angela's cell phone, your wallet, and or your laptop.
Okay.
At this point, James Craig has another big secret, and she is staying at a hotel just down the road. There's a knock on the hotel door.
At 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm. I'm Sergeant Lawnecker with the Aurora Homicide Unit. We've taken Jim into custody for homicide, and I was wondering if you have a minute to speak with me.
In her exclusive interview with us, Karen explained she had no idea that Craig had been living a double life.
I went back and I reread all our messages and kind of replayed it all, and I don't feel like I missed red flags. All the plates spinning all the right ways.
Detectives searched James Craig's office, and on that computer and others, a trove of steamy emails to multiple women. Within hours of his wife Angela dying, Craig is arrested.
You can see 2020's 21 Days to Murder tonight at 9/8 Central on ABC and streaming beginning Saturday on Disney Plus and Hulu. Our thanks to Matt Gutman. Coming up, we talk to actress Lily James about her role in the new Hulu film Swiped, which peels back the curtain on the true life story of the CEO and founder of the dating app Bumble. And they just might be the hottest toy this Christmas season, Labubus. And our Britt Clennett travels to the land of Labubus in Beijing, where an entire theme park has been devoted to the toothy but frighteningly cute creatures. The new warning about what not to take during a plane emergency. A baby just can't wait to make her entrance into the world. And could you be an outrovert? These stories and more in tonight's rundown. The Federal Aviation Administration announced a safety alert this morning, telling airlines they should do more to make sure passengers don't try to evacuate with their carry-on bags in an emergency. It comes after a string of recent incidents, including a Delta Airlines regional jet that crashed in Toronto in February, passengers seen on video exiting the flip plane with their belongings, and an American Airlines flight catching fire in July at Denver International Airport, passengers sliding out of the burning plane with their luggage. The FAA says bringing luggage during an evacuation can slow down the process, potentially risking the lives of passengers still on the plane. A new study published in the journal Nature found that each year, wildfire smoke is causing more than 41,000 deaths on average and could reach over 70,000 by 2050 and could do more harm to Americans by 2050 than any other climate-related threat. A growing body of research suggests wildfire smoke exposure causes significant health problems, including miscarriages, asthma, and lung cancer. And a baby girl in Texas made her grand entrance in dramatic fashion. Her mom, Angelica Martinez, gave birth to her daughter just as her husband pulled their car outside the entrance of Methodist Dallas Medical Center. A hospital surveillance camera catching it all on tape. Once her husband parked their SUV, he jumped out to his wife's side and delivered their baby himself. Methodist Health System says over 20 doctors, nurses, and staff members met the family outside to help. And a lesser-seen self-portrait of Mexican artist Frida Kahlo is going up for auction at Sotheby's in what could be a record-setting sale, with an estimated price of $40 million to $60 million. El Sueño, La Cama, or The Dream, The Bed in English, may surpass the top price for a work by any female artist when it goes under the hammer on November 8th. The current record belongs to Georgia O'Keeffe's Jimson Weed White Flower No. 1, which sold for $44.4 million. And ever find yourself standing alone at a party wondering why everyone around you is having a good time and you're not? Well, according to American psychiatric doctor Rami Kaminsky, instead of an introvert or extrovert, you could be an outrovert, a third personality type. Outroverts struggle to feel a sense of belonging to a group and prefer to stand apart from social collectives. The term gained traction recently when Hailey Bieber, a study on her social media, saying that she is an outrovert. Miley Cyrus is out with a new song today titled Secrets. dedicating the track to her father, Billy Ray Cyrus, after years of rumored estrangement between the two. Miley posting on Instagram saying this song was written as a peace offering for someone I had lost for a time but always loved. Miley collaborated with Fleetwood Mac's Lindsey Buckingham and Mick Fleetwood for the track, thanking them for bringing magic to the music. Now, they just might be the hottest toy this holiday season, Labubus. And now, with its parent manufacturer, Pop Mart, worth more than Hasbro, Mattel, and Sanrio combined, our Britt Clennett travels to the land of Labubus in Beijing, where an entire theme park has been devoted to the furry, fierce-looking creatures.
If you can't get enough of Labubus and all things Pop Mart, this is the place for you.
Labubu games, Labubu ice cream, popcorn. There's a Labubu fire hydrant. I mean, it's Labubu mad here.
Welcome to Popland, an immersive theme park here in Beijing with live performances, themed treats,
Labubu tiramisu cake. I hope that's not Labubu.
and lots of merchandise.
This is my Labubu Pangyao. This is my Labubu friend. Labubu Pangyao.
For the uninitiated, Chinese toy company Pop Mart is behind the global demand for this toothy and frighteningly cute creature known as a Labubu, designed by Hong Kong-born artist Ka Sing Leung, who was inspired by Nordic folklore. If you get your hands on a box, you won't know which Labubu you have until you open it, a concept known as blind unboxing.
Oh, yes, thank God. Finally, the last one. Ta-da. Welcome home.
Cute, ugly, terrifying. It's up to you. But you can't deny how popular these things are.
In the park, spanning a tidy 10 acres, you'll find Labubus and all her friends, Molly, Demu and Skull Panda, come to life.
This is a Labubu passport. I travel a lot for work, but never have I entered the land of the Labubu people.
Entrance into this land of smiling faces costs about $20. Opening in 2023, the park is already constructing an upgrade.
I got 3.
We find Drew from Iowa and Belle from the Philippines, who said the park's popularity made it difficult to even secure a ticket.
Do you think it would be popular in the States to have this kind of theme park dedicated to Labubu and his friends?
I don't think currently. Maybe in a couple years when the popularity becomes maybe a little bit more international.
Can it become any more international?
I brought some Labubu themed things back to my hometown in Iowa and nobody knew what it was.
You think it's weird?
Yeah, I do.
But you love it. I love it. What I've learned here so far is that Labubu fans come in all shapes and sizes. There are kids, but there are also full-grown adults loving the Labubu land. Photo box time.
I quickly dive into a photo booth.
Big memento from my solo day at Labubu Land.
Of course, there's plenty of themed snacks here. My eyes honed in on a Labubu tiramisu.
Very creamy, cold. I think it's got a bit of ice cream in it too.
There's the Labubu Adventure Forest for kids to work off all that sugar. Then, the moment we've all been waiting for, a Labubu meet and greet.
So we've just had security come out and say, please, when the Labubus come out, control yourself.
Before I knew it, I was captured by the monsters.
What just happened?
At this point, I have to kind of admit, I was feeling a little charmed by the Labubus.
Whoever says this is just, mass consumerism at its worst has never danced with a Labubu.
Turning a corner, there's this magnificent castle, Molly's Castle. And inside...
This might be a theme park, but this here, the shop, this is the real attraction.
But if you come to Popland expecting to buy a coveted Labubu, don't get your hopes up. They're not even for sale here.
for display only.
So we tried a different blind unboxing.
It's almost like gambling in a way. You just want to go back and spend more and get more. This is the Pucky Pleasant Swing. I'm not disappointed, but, you know.
Leaving a little dejected, outside the park, we spot a man claiming to sell Labubus.
Labubu? Oh. Whoa.
Could my rare grey Labubu actually be a counterfeit, aka a Lafufu? Possibly. I do know I'm thoroughly La-pooped, but it seems Pop Mart's dominance is just getting started, and its influence cannot be denied.
Look, I know what it looks like. I haven't been sucked in. They haven't got me. These are Christmas presents for kids, not me, for the kids.
All right, thanks to Britt. All right, Whitney Wolfe Herd is the founder of both Tinder and Bumble, but the journey presented its challenges, including a harassment lawsuit that came out of her departure from Tinder. Now, Herd's story is told in the new Hulu film Swiped, starring Lily James. Our Ashin Singh sat down with James to talk about how they made the film without ever speaking to its main subject.
Lily James, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Congrats on the film Swiped. I gotta know how you first heard about this story of Whitney Wolfe Herd. Like when you first got this script in your hands,
yeah.
What'd you think?
I was completely bowled over. I didn't know her story. Obviously, we all know about Tinder and Bumble because those apps have completely revolutionized the way we all interact and date now. But the fact that I learned that there was this woman who was really at the heart of it and so very young, had just left college, kind of broke into the tech space, which is predominantly all guys, and and had this huge amount of success and a lot of challenges along the way too. And I found her story incredibly inspiring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are events that occurred 10 years ago, but they feel not so long ago. You've done period pieces before.
Yeah.
What was it like reliving this chapter that felt like pretty recent history?
Yeah, it's wild because it feels like recent history. It's only 2012, but when you look at those mobile phones and the tech, that feels like ancient history.
Even the OS on the apps that you were using, right?
Yeah, because we're really exploring a moment in tech history where these apps were exploding onto the scene. And so that was really fun to tap into that moment in time. And I think people will be really interested and curious about that because they now kind of dictate our lives in such a profound way.
Oh my God. Oh, and Kashan Brooks. Wait, what? Kashan? Well, do not swipe right on Kashan. I'm swiping.
How'd you actually prepare for this role? Because I understand Whitney Wolfe Herd she's got an NDA, right? There's so much about this story that she couldn't actually talk about.
Yeah, so our film was entirely sourced from the public domain. There was a wealth of information. I spent months researching her and listening to every podcast and kind of reading all her interviews, her masterclass, to really try and capture the essence of this kind of formidable founder and woman. And also, one of the things I was really keen to explore, one of the themes of the movie, is looking at NDAs and how they can be weaponized against women and silence women. So there's a lot in this movie that we're exploring.
Yeah, I read that you actually got on dating apps to learn more about the role.
I sure did. I felt I had to. I thought I wouldn't be doing a good job as a dating app founder if I didn't at least try it. They'd completely passed me by, honestly, in my own life. But I stole my friend's phone, logged onto her Bumble, and was swiping left, right, and center.
What did you learn about it? It's a crazy world.
It's a crazy world out there. You know, what I will say and what I find so galvanizing is what Whitney Wolfe Herd has done, which is kind of re-engineer these dating apps from a female perspective and kind of, modernizing these very outdated gender stereotypes. So I think that's important because I can see how dating apps can be addictive, and so it's exciting when there's people that are kind of doing really innovative things with the apps.
It's a social networking app called Bumble. A dating app that is actually a good experience for women.
And you didn't just act in this film, you produced it as well. What was it like taking that step behind the camera and actually getting to work on the storyboard for this one?
Yeah, it was a new experience, a real learning curve. It's taught me so much about how I want to move forward as a producer and the stories I want to tell and champion. And it was brilliant in this, to be telling a story about this brilliant female leader and entrepreneur, and then to take more agency myself in the telling of this story. So to really have a say early on in pre-production and then right through the edit was was important. And yeah, I've learned a lot.
Given how recent the history of what this film is talking about, do you feel like we're in a better place, or do you still think we've got more work to do?
I think we've got a lot of work to do, honestly. I mean, it's interesting looking at this story because I think this was a moment in time when Whitney spoke out, which was when women were beginning to speak out about their experiences in workplaces and discrimination. But we've got so much further to go, and this was pre-Me Too, and the way the media responded, and it all was just so unacceptable and upsetting. So we've come a long way, but I think there's still a lot of work to do.
All right, our thanks to Ashin for that. Swiped is now available to stream on Hulu. And finally this hour, we're celebrating 7 decades of Disneyland. A new ABC News special gives us a look behind the curtain at what it took to make Walt Disney's dream come true. ABC's Chris Conley has the story.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
I believe I've been to Disneyland at least 40 to 50 times.
Disneyland. There's nothing like it.
It's all here. The memories.
Forget Christmas. Forget birthdays. It was Disneyland for me.
Magic.
And Disneyland just transforms when the lights come on.
And the man with a not-so-simple dream.
People are going to get on a boat here and ride through the lagoon. And then as they get around here, we're going to take them down a waterfall.
To change the way we all have fun.
Well, it came about when my daughters were very young. I felt that there should be something built where that the parents and the children could have fun together.
On Sunday night's special edition of 2020, the happiest story on Earth, 70 years of Disneyland, we pull back the curtain on what it took to make that dream a reality, against the odds.
There were a lot of people that predicted it was going to be a spectacular failure.
With rare behind-the-scenes footage of how the beloved park was built.
Walt didn't use architects. He was a movie guy.
On our test stage, here's a test model of Peter Pan's famous pirate ship.
Stories of how it's endured.
I've heard people say, this is where Lightning McQueen lives, and Mater, and all the rest of them.
And some sneak peeks at how it will evolve.
We're building this amazing new attraction with Robert Downey Jr. Starflight Lab is going to be an incredible addition to Avengers Campus.
All staying true to a vow Walt Disney made 70 years ago.
Well, there's a little plaque out there that says, as long as there is imagination left in the world, Disneyland will never be complete.
That's our show for this hour. I'm Mike Ajachi. Stay tuned to ABC News Live for more context and analysis of the day's top stories. Thanks for streaming with us.